Take a look at this. We have the, I believe we have the actual indictment here. United States of America v. Hannah C. Dugan. It says, on or about April 18th, 2025, knowingly concealed EFR, a person whose arrest, a warrant, and process had been issued under the provisions of law of the United States. We've got this other paperwork. The grand jury further charges that. So what are they getting around? Did corruptly endeavor to influence, obstruct, and impede the due and proper administration of the law, under which a pending proceeding was being had before a department and agency of the United States. We do have, I believe, a photo of the criminal alien who was trying to escape from the New York Post. And then, of course, this video of Hannah C. Dugan leaving the courtroom. Judge. But she does not give a statement. So, I have no idea how she thinks she's going to fight this. Is she going to argue I did the right thing and hope for a nullification?
I mean, it's amazing how in this article, they're positioning this as this being some sort of prejudicial indictment of Dugan, when if we actually look at what she did, it's pretty straightforward. There was an illegal immigrant in a courtroom. She allowed him to exit through the non-public jury entrance. He tried to run. He literally tried to run away. And then he got tackled after he tried to escape at her assistance. So this is not political, and I don't see why it needs to be politicized at all. This is not even about a judge doing this. This is about a human being trying to help another human being escape arrest.
The fact that the news has centered on her being a judge shows that Democrats expect certain people to be above the law.
It's outrageous, too, because I feel like Democrats were reliably telling me for a while that nobody was above the law. And I think it's weird that they're calling it an attack on the judiciary because, again, if judges break the law, there's no reason that they shouldn't be able to be arrested for their crimes. However, I'm sure she knows a lot of good lawyers, seeing that she is a judge. So she might be able to wiggle out her way out of this one.
I think they're just counting on people not actually reading what she did and seeing, hey, this person, Trump, I don't like Trump. Trump did this thing to this person. This person's the victim. Trump is the perpetrator. The end.
All right, so it's the third, or there's probably more than three, but it's the third that I can recall immigration hoax that we're seeing so far in the Trump administration. First, we had the Maryland man hoax. Then we had the 2 children, American citizens being deported hoax. And now we have the Wisconsin judge hoax, who is right. It's an attack on the judiciary. They didn't do anything wrong.
There is going to be a political earthquake in this country in 10 years. Because we keep talking about these hoaxes, but who really falls for them? It is the older generation. They're watching CNN, MSNBC. And, at least some of them are watching Fox News. Fox does a pretty good job. Not perfect, but pretty good. In 10 years, when these boomers aren't voting anymore, or not to be crude, I know I say this a bit, but when they're passing on, and these cable networks and these corporate news outlets can't maintain these offices and these companies, the media narrative landscape is going to flip like a glacier. It's going to be nuts, the political reckoning that we see. Overnight, these hoaxes will be gone.
And it's hard for me to blame the public for falling for some of these hoaxes, because for the average person, you don't have the time to dig in to every little nuance of every story, and you just reliably, or think you can reliably, read a headline without being misled. But it seems there is a consensus in the media to go along with so many of these immigration hoaxes.
Do you guys think that this is the phenomenon of so many people, so many people being misled by the establishment media? Do you think that that's actually something new because of the digital age, or do you think that it was just that because there are multiple outlets now?
Yeah, I don't think there's any such thing as an objective news source. I don't think there ever has been. All news sources are composed of humans. All humans have a perspective. You have a perspective. I have one. We're all subjective. And I think the difference now is because we have an open information environment, we can actually compare what the open information environment is saying versus a single source, and we see the bias. I do think that when Trump arrived on the scene, it became even more polarized because I think the establishment found him so odious that they doubled down on their bias, especially in the New York Times. I mean, I used to be on the left, and then my first realization was, oh, wow, the New York Times exclusively reports negative things about Trump. That was the first window into, I thought I'm getting the truth, but I'm getting a news story.
I half agree. I want to push back a little bit because I've had this debate on subjectivity and objectivity quite a bit throughout the years in journalism. And I think the bigger question is not whether or not someone has a bias. You can be biased and objective. It just depends on your attachment to the particular story. And then the bigger question is, are you honest? Yeah. So what we often heard as an excuse for why the corporate press lies is that, well, there's no such thing as objectivity. Everybody has a point of view. Yes, but that doesn't mean you falsely frame the narrative of a story. So the way I describe it to people is, you know, if I'm outside at a diner and I see two guys get into a brawl and someone comes up to me and says, what happened? I can be objective. I can say, this guy came into that guy and took a swing at him. But what if one of the guys was my brother, right? I can still be honest, but you don't know if you want to trust what I'm saying, because I'm going to be like, that guy attacked my brother. And they're going to be like, okay, well, you know, we hear what you're saying. Maybe it's telling the truth. Maybe he's being objective. I think the bigger issue that we see in politics, the left is lying and the right is being honest. It's not perfect. Sometimes the right gets things wrong, and some people on the right do lie. But it's a tendency on the left, or I should say it's a generality on the left and sometimes on the right. You'll find that there are right-wing grifters trying to make money, and they're going to lie, and they're going to make AI garbage and whatever they have to do to get money. On the left, it's every single day. So what's the distinction between left and the right in this country? It's not policy. It's not economics. It's not abortion or gay rights. None of that matters, because I can sit down with Charlie Kirk and have different views on legislating abortion, for instance, but we will be completely honest about the circumstances in this country and the facts. So can Charlie Kirk be objective? I believe he absolutely can. Can I? I think so too. If we were presented with data and then we looked at it and said, we're going to scrutinize this data, and it said 90+% of abortions are no reason given elective, we will both agree on the terms that that is the true and correct fact. That's objective. Then we'll make an argument about our view on how we legislate to stop something like that from happening. Whereas what the liberals do is they'll crumple up. First, they'll ban you, saying statistics are offensive, racist, sexist, or otherwise. Then if somehow the information gets out, they'll make up an excuse as to why it's not really the case. They'll use manipulative phrases like Maryland man to trick you into thinking American citizens are being deported. That's not even a question of subjectivity or objectivity. That is just dishonesty. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.